Shalom Israel. First and foremost, want to give all praises, all honor, all glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushua, Ba'Hashem, Kakadash, the born of the apostles, and also great millstone teaching us this truth, peace and blessings to hopefully to Israel, and Shalom. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father in Hebrew, Ba'Hashem means the name, and Yahweh Shai is the name of the begotten Son. Back on lesson, and today, coming to these wars and rumors wars that we are seeing, as you're about to see in this article, Russia is threatening U.S. to basically nuke them, man, and that is basically a wage of war, man. You don't just simply go out and say you're gonna, nuke a whole another nation and, get away with it. But we're also going to see, how this plays out, what this leads up to, because as you see, the tensions are building, and it's ultimately through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, because World War III is prophesied in the scriptures, in this Bible, man, which I made, as well as the apostles and others on down have made tons of lessons going into these, these topics, man. How World War III was prophesied in the Bible. But we're going to get to a quick lesson, go into these wars, rumors, wars, the tensions that the Lord is building for World War III, aka Armageddon. So, read a quick article, a few scriptures that came to mind, and Lord will be our final lesson. Let's get on with it. It says, U.S. Sun. It says, NUKE SHOWDOWN Russia threatens to wipe out the entire U.S. with just 4 Satan II missiles and chilling warning over Ukraine. So, as you especially seen U.S. make those sanctions, those bans, against Russia to where they're not accepting imports or trades over there, which caused a lot of damage to, Russia and a lot of those neighboring nations. So it already goes to show that the tension, is already pretty high in levels, for lack of better words. It's not just simply, don't talk to me, it's just the tensions are high. But it says a chilling moment on Russian state TV on Monday saw a host U.S. issue the latest in a long line of threats, this time warning Putin could destroy the entire east coast of the U.S. with just 2 missiles. And also shows you just how powerful these missiles are and how much stronger they have gotten. Excuse me. Because going back to the Hiroshima, those atomic bombs that they used, you see how much damage that caused. Now imagine the advances that they have made, with the missiles that they have now, and how much stronger and more powerful they are. There's a few articles that went to how they're faster than the speed of sound, than jets. I forget how many times stronger than the atomic bomb, but it's just way over. But in footage from Russia's flagship propaganda show, a member of Russia's parliament boasts about the nation's military might before also labeling 2 million Ukrainians as incurable. Let's see. Let's get the middle part. It says, the lawmaker claimed that 2 of Russia's Sarmat Satan II missiles would destroy the entirety of America's east coast, which when you go into the scriptures, it's going to be more than just 4 missiles that these heathens are going to shoot. Goes back to the book of Revelations, 200,000. It's going to be way more than 4 missiles that's going to be shot, man, especially with all these different nations that are going to be against America, which we'll get that later on. So we'll destroy the entirety of America's east coast before adding it would take just 2 missiles for the west coast as well. 4 missiles and there will be nothing left. As I just said, there will be way more than 4. So they think the mushroom cloud will be taller than a high-rise. That mushroom cloud will be visible from Mexico, said Zerovlev. But, scripts also go into that mushroom cloud, basically, which we'll get it. So we pretty much got the main points in the article. You see tensions are high. You have Russia, making those threats, saying I could wipe you out with, missiles. And that's not just a simple threat that you make. So Russia may be the key part into kicking this thing off, especially with before, the sanctions and the bans that have been made against Russia. So things are heating up, man. And, these are the things that would take place before Yahweh Shai would make his return, showing you that we're nearing the end of his devil's kingdom. There's this right here to go into that. Matthew chapter 24, verse 2 to 8. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And it's going to go into list off those signs that we would see before Yahweh Shai would make his return. And showing you we're in the midst of these times, man. So hey, it's time to take this serious, man. You see a lot of people that are taking this truth as a game, as entertainment, as nothing to be taken serious. And guess what? You have something, or hey, it's like you're going to face reality very, very soon. I'm trying to find the correct words, but it says verse 4. And Yahweh Shai answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am anointed, and shall deceive many. Which you have many false prophets, especially a lot of these other Israelite camps outside of the brothers at Great Millstone are pushing, false doctrine, not really preparing Jake for what's to come. There's not going to be a Jacob trouble. The charagma is spiritual. All these different things, which is off. You even have other Israelite camps pushing that all tribes are black, and and it's just, that's a whole nother lesson. Verse 6. And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So you see the main point, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. We're seeing now, you're seeing small little fights, battles breaking out. You're seeing tension starting to build to its peak, and and pretty soon it's going to reach a climax, which climax is the highest, part of something, the highest part of the story. Things are really going to, kick off, and all hell will break loose. And you're hearing rumors of wars also. I see Russia making those threats that we could nuke your East Coast and wipe it out with just 2 missiles, And as I said earlier, it's not just threats that you just make, and without, consequences or, what's what I'm looking for, a rebuttal, for lack of better words, without anybody saying anything back. Verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there should be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places, which are seeing also these plagues, these pestilences that the Lord is sending out upon this place. Once again, showing you that we're nearing the end, because Yahweh Shai is preparing to destroy this place, man. What did Yahweh Shai do? Back then in ancient Egypt, he sent plagues and pestilence upon the Egyptians, man. Saying to let his people go. Same thing happening today. But it says, verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrow. This is just the beginning. Things are preparing to kick off, man. But let's get Habakkuk 2 and 3 to go into times that we are in. Because you saw those signs that we would see before Yahweh Shai would make his return. We are in the midst of these things. Habakkuk 2 and 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, and we're in these appointed times as prophesied in the scriptures, and as we would see these end time signs that would take place before Yahweh Shai would make his return. But at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So though it may look like it's not coming or nothing's happening, it's going to come and it will happen. It's not going to delay. Revelations 11 and 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Which woe basically goes into destruction, basically bad. Like terrible, for lack of better words. So misery, sorrow, distress, sadness, unhappiness, desolation. That's all we need. Desolation, destruction. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. This third world war is coming very, very quickly. As you know, over the course of the past few months, you have been seeing the tensions constantly rising, constantly building up, and it's all through Spirit Power Yahweh Shai playing out exactly how he wants it. This is the Lord's movie, man. And we got the script. 2 Peter 3 and 10 through 13. They're going to how this place can be destroyed by thermonuclear missiles. As you've seen, the first death was by the way of water, going to that flood. The second death is going to be by the way of fire. And as you know, these are great purifying agents, water and fire. But continue on. So, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. You're not expecting, a thief to come, hit your house at night, coming unexpected. Especially to those that are not paying attention, that are not being circumspect, they're not preparing for these times, man. Because you're going to get caught lacking, you're going to get caught with your pants down, as people like to say, But in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with a fervent heat. The earth also and the works that therein shall be burnt up. So when it goes into heaven, it's going to Esau Edom's kingdom. This is his heaven. This is his rulership. Pretty soon, he's going to be taken out very soon. But in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. And what is that great noise? Those thermonuclear missiles exploding. Those great thunderous sounds. But the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that therein shall be burnt up. So, what type of weapon and what type of thing could emit this type of heat to melt away elements? iron, stone, and all these different things. You see these buildings, which, I always like to use this one scene from Terminator. If you watched it, that one chick, I forgot her name, but she was next to a gate. Once that missile exploded, everyone was burned up, man. Completely evaporated. And you also see many examples of that in what went on in Hiroshima. People's shadows were literally left behind them, man, from that explosion. But in seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons are ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? Which main point was verse 10, but we'll finish it off. Looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we according to his promise look for a new heavens and a new earth wherein dwell righteousness. And this is why we can't wait for this place to be destroyed. Because you have people that looked at us like crazy, calling us, a conspiracy theorists. Once again, mock us and make fun of us, and once again, call us crazy. Because when we say we can't wait for this to happen, we're going to rejoice and be excited for these times. People look at us crazy, man, as not normal. Well, why would you want this place to be destroyed? Well, what's wrong with you? There's something wrong with you, man. But hey, in order for the kingdom to come, guess what? These things need to be fulfilled and need to happen, man. And need to play out. But the book of Joel 3:9-12 go into these nations preparing for war. Because you see, with all these different nations are starting to basically stand up against America, starting to, gain that boldness, for lack of better words. But as you see right here, it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, which are going to the different nations. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Verse 10, beat your plowshares into pruning hooks. It's like, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And as you know, these are basically, farming tools. Now they're starting to beat them into, weapons of war. Preparing to fight. Because these different nations are starting to stand up against America. As you see right here, let the weak say, I am strong. Because as you know, in the eyes of America, these nations are looked upon as weak, as nothing comparable. But now they're starting to stand up. Now they're starting to prepare to fight. All these different nuclear advances that they have made, weapons of war that they have. Let's get over here, verse 11. Assemble yourselves and come all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither, because cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh, by Shem Yahushai. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, go to Yahweh's judgment. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Jeremiah 50:9 to add more onto it, how these nations are going to be in array against Babylon. Excuse me. It says, for lo, I'll raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. And they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence shall she be taken. The arrows shall be as of mighty expert men. None shall return in vain. And an expert man, says shall be as a mighty expert men. Having basically 100% accuracy, not be able to miss. And once those missiles are shot, they're not going to miss. They're not going to knock into each other. Explode in the air. Not hit their mark. Because as it keeps going to how the Lord's word will always be fulfilled. It shall not return unto him void. It's like I speak too fast. It's going to return unto him fulfilled. But it says, from thence shall she be taken, the arrows shall be as of a mighty expert men, none shall return in vain. So showing you they're going to hit their mark. So you see different nations are going to start to stand up against America. Because you see, the choices that the U.S. has made against Russia, those sanctions, those bans of the imports, caused a lot of problems, everywhere. As you see, the gas prices are continuing to skyrocket. Problems are continuing to arise from this, man. Not many people are going to agree with Biden's move. And as you see, a lot of people are going to stand with that. Alright, these are the last few scripts I got. We'll close out. But Isaiah 34:1-6. To go into these thermonuclear missiles, it says, come near ye nations to hear and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear and all that is therein, the world and all the things that come forth of it. So you're being warned. For the indignation of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. Because people like to say, oh, the Lord's coming back for everybody. He loves everybody. Yahweh is coming to deliver for everybody, which is not the case. I see his for the inclination of Yahweh Hashem shines upon all nations and his fury upon all the armies. The Lord's only dealing with the elect, and that's who he is only coming back for. And his fury upon all their armies, he hath utterly destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter. Verse 3. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of the carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with blood. So showing you just how much, dead bodies you're about to see. Verse 4. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, which is going to those mushroom clouds that you see. As spoken of in that article we just read, going to this, which for load, says they think that the mushroom cloud will be taller than a high-rise. That mushroom cloud will be visible from Mexico. So let's look back to here. Forgot where I left off. Isaiah 34. Right here. It's now all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heaven shall be rolled together as a scroll. So that's what's speaking of that mushroom cloud. And all their hosts shall fall down, as a leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. As you know, those ICBM missiles, the intercontinental ballistic missiles, you are shot into basically space, and they travel to basically the area that they're over and, shoot straight down. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven, behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, and that's another word for Edom, Esau, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. So this was coming upon these heathen nations, specifically Esau, man. This devil has to pay. And America will never be inhabited ever again, as the scriptures go into. But the sword of Yahweh by Shemashai is filled with blood, it is made with fatness, and with the blood of the lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For Yahweh by Shemashai hath a sacrifice in Basra, and had a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. And we know when you're basically making a sacrifice, what do you do with that fat? You throw it into the fire, and guess what? That's when coming to Esau, Edom. Thermonuclear fire. But Isaiah 13 and 9 to 13. See, behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. So the Lord is preparing to destroy this place and the people in it, man. A lot of you wicked people, and just all the confusion, the wickedness that you see today. And this is another scripture also goes into how the sins have reached unto the heavens, man. Show you just how wicked this place is, man. This place makes Sodom and Gomorrah look like a baby, man. With all the wickedness and this confusion and things that are going on a day-to-day basis. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. From all those, the smoke, and those mushroom clouds that are coming from those missiles, man. Verse 11, I'll punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. So Yahweh is not coming to play. He's coming to tear this place up and to deliver his elect, those that waited upon Yahweh, that remained faithful, that endured, and that kept his word to the best of their ability. He is coming to destroy this place, man. Not to give hugs and kisses and to deliver everybody, nor does the Lord love everybody, man. Verse 12. I'll make it, which ultimately is get 13. Skip on to 13, which is the main point I wanted. Therefore, I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place. Showing you from all those missiles that are going to be shot. Causing all those explosions. They're literally going to shake the earth, man. Therefore, I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place. And the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger, which we had more onto that. Which is, let's get to Isaiah 21st. Says, the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. But, when you see someone that drinks so much, they're wobbling. They can't stand still. They're constantly just shaking, man. The earth shall roll to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. Going back to the 13th chapter in the book of Isaiah, I believe near the 18th verse, going to this place will never be inhabited again. But the Isaiah, or it's like a 2nd Ezra 16:13, I should have got that earlier, but it says, "For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss." Going back to this, as we saw earlier, shall be the arrows of the mighty expert men, shall not return in vain. So showing you they're gonna hit their mark. And I see right here, "For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss. When they begin to be shot in the end of the earth." It's like I'm speaking too fast, but when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. See if I missed anything. Which we got the main point. But we got Isaiah 9 and 5. We'll color with this. Showing you his wars can be completely different. "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood," which I always like to use an example of the movie 300. If you've seen that movie, basically, Spartans, clashing with shields, swords, arrows, screaming, on the battlefield. But showing you this can be completely different. "For every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire." And what is that talking about? These thermonuclear missiles. And guess what? This place is getting prepared. It's like Lord's preparing, getting ready to. Sorry, I'm tripping on my words. But I guess this place is getting ready to be destroyed. I was trying to find the exact word I want to use, but as you see, Yahweh Shai is getting ready to destroy this place, man. You're seeing the end time signs that we would see and that would take place before our Lord Yahweh Shai would make his return, and before his place would be destroyed, as you read in the book of Matthew, 24th chapter, in the 3rd through the 8th verse. So things are heating up. You're seeing the tension build as things are progressively getting worse. And people still have this false sense of reality, this false sense that this place is going to get better, that things are going back to normal, and that America will never be touched. But going back to Isaiah, the 47th chapter, going to, come sit in the dust, O daughter of Babylon. Thou shalt be no more tender nor delicate. So showing you she's going to be taken out, man, very, very soon. So once again, Russia may be the main Kickstarter to get this thing rolling. We'll have to see how this exactly plays out. So I want to give all praises, all honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Kadash, the bodies of the apostles, and those of great millstone teaching us truth. Peace and blessing to all of Israel, and shalom. See you next one.